Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto livestream. And we just got some breaking crypto news. Yes, we just got some breaking crypto news. Pretty big day, pretty surprising, and let's of course cover exactly what happened in this livestream. You don't want to know how freaking much effort I had to put in to be able to stream for you guys right now, but who cares, right? I'm here. So, yeah, let's quickly dive right into what just happened. Most likely people will keep asking this over the next couple of minutes, but whatever. Let's quickly cover the news for right now. Breaking. Court schedules telephonic conference for July 15th at 3 p.m. to discuss the SEC's motion to quash the deposition of William Hinman. The court will provide dial-in information for the public in advance of the conference. And guys, did you get a notification for this video or not? I'm wondering because on my phone, it doesn't show as if it gave the notification out, but it should have. So, yeah, this just came up, just. Of course, I was in the car when this came up, and so I had to wait like 45 or so minutes before I could actually give this out. You know how much, as I just said, it was a lot of freaking effort, man, but all right, so what's going to happen now is we're going to have a hearing in about 1.5 days. Okay, let's actually see. This is usually wait, let me quickly see. 3 p.m. Was it EST to Amsterdam? I think it was EST. I think it's going to be 9 p.m. Dutch time once more, because I believe it's Eastern time that they use, right? We can actually quickly compare that if you really want to, but it might be P. It's P something, not EST. It's P, Pacific time. P. Which one is it though? Is it Pacific time or which one is it normally, guys? Let me quickly know. What do you guys think? Quality is poor. Can't read anything. I think the quality is always 1080p, guys. Let's quickly see. Do any of you know otherwise? Because I didn't really prepare too far for it because I just came in. All right. Little fun story, which is not so fun. My youngest brother actually got rejected for the first time in his life, and so I had to kind of help him out. But then I saw this news, had to rush home, leave that guy in tears. I don't care. No, just kidding. But I had to rush home to quickly fix this stuff, of course, because I want to update you guys about the situation. Okay, you guys saying EST, so it's going to be 9 p.m. my time, that is. All right, just quickly converted it to Amsterdam. It's 11 p.m. Dubai, so it's not going to matter. It's all great. So, most likely, we're just going to call in once we get the information, if it is possible. Let's quickly read whatever info we have. So, on the court listener, all it says is order on motion for local rule 37.2 conference. Okay. And by the way, if the quality is low, see if you can actually change your settings, because on my end it says it's 1080p. So I'm not sure about that. That's one part. And then let's see. Breaking. Court schedules telephone conference, okay, just like every other time, for July 15th at 3 p.m. to discuss the SEC's motion to quash the deposition of William Hinman. The court will provide dial-in information for the public in advance of the conference, which to me is quite odd. Like most of the time, they actually give this whole hearing quite a ways up front. And if we look back a little bit, we did get a schedule. Let's quickly see. A schedule prior, which is this entire document right here, where again, the SEC put up their reply. Then Ripple, of course, came up with their response, and then the SEC gave their final reply to this ordeal. It's to me kind of interesting, let's call it like that, that a hearing was called out so late and so quick in advance, like 2 days up front. Then again, the actual deposition was supposed to happen in how long? How long was that going to be? Let's quickly see what our last date was. I believe the 19th, right? Or was it the 17th? I believe the 19th it was going to be the deposition of William Hinman. It was supposed to be already within a couple of days. So from that perspective, it is not that crazy. Let's quickly see here. July 19th, the deposition was actually going to be. So now, 4 days before the official deposition, there is a telephonic hearing. Once more, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel right now. We will be going live, of course, July 15th to cover everything, all right? If I don't, then make sure you understand that something happened to me and you better come search for me, all right? there's a 99% chance that I'll be doing everything in my power. You remember, I was across the freaking world. I was in Dubai, didn't have a freaking cell phone to actually get this done with, and still, I got the live stream for you guys, all right? It cost me almost $200, but we got it done. So better bet your ass that this time again, we are going to get this telephonic hearing live again. I'm just going to talk over it. I'm not exactly sure if I can, I'm not going to let you listen to it directly, but I will, in some way, shape, or form, make sure you guys get the info that is necessary, because Jeremy Hogan actually just came out and said this about the situation. My quick take on the scheduling of a conference on a fully briefed motion is that it is bad for Ripple. And that's not what we want to see. That is never what we like to see. This type of stuff is not so nice, especially coming from Jeremy Hogan, one of the most prominent lawyers in the SEC v. Ripple lawsuit situation. So what he said, my quick take is that it's bad. If she was satisfied by the briefings, she would have simply ordered the deposition to take place. She might need more from Ripple if she is to order the deposition. We'll see. And that's literally where my psyche, my mind is also at right now, which is, so let's go over the situation in just a second. I have the articles that have, kind of gone before this open as well, so we can kind of cover exactly how everything came to be and what exactly our thought process is for right now. But for all of you that are watching right now, there's a freaking 30,000 XP competition, and I've never been so proud as of this thing, all right? And what this basically means is that everybody who ever used my link for Bybit, all you have to go do is go to this little page. Maybe you can find it on Bybit itself. Otherwise, the link is in the description or maybe up top here if you can see that. I'm not sure if you can. And just press the register now button. If you are already logged in with your account as my affiliate, one little click. If not, make sure you make an account through the link that is down below. And there's a 30,000 XRP pool. Right now, there's only 7 people who have entered, so better understand, all right, there's a lot of money to be won here. It's over on Bybit. Of course, trading is risky, but you only need, I think, let's quickly see, 300 XRP to start off with. So you don't need freaking billions and millions like with some other competitions. And this is the only XRP competition that Bybit has ever done, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah. You know how much arranging that was? It was not easy, but we got it done. So make sure, link is down below for that one. I did my best. All right, 30,000 XRP. It's way more than I expected, but 30,000 XRP is going to be given away to you guys for free. Only people who use my link. So it's only you guys. That's mind-boggling. Like, wow, okay. Okay, so let's quickly go over the scenario or over what has happened. All right, a little bit, I guess one of the first things we saw was Ripple, of course, putting up that deposition. And the official deposition notice looked like this. It was basically a letter from Ripple's side over to the SEC. You are commanded to appear at the time, date, yada, yada, yada. That date was the 30th of June, 2021, 9 a.m. That is, again, video and stenographic means where William Hinman was supposed to be deposed, where Ripple could question him. Now, of course, we later on saw that this was actually posted quite a ways up front, but the SEC came in a little bit later to say, hey, we don't want to see that. We don't want that. I'm not exactly sure which of those. I think it was actually this one right here. If we go to the top, this is where the SEC came in a little bit later, like a month later or so, to explain they don't want that. And again, the full schedule for that is actually released here as well. June 24th, SEC. Then July 1st, Ripple, and then July 8th, SEC again. We have those 3 open. Right here, it was a little bit of an interim from James Phelan, who said, this part of the Hinman Declaration should scare everyone, because this is actually one of the things that they said in their motion. This is once more coming from the SEC's side. This part should scare. To the best of my knowledge, the Commission had not taken at the time and still has not taken any position or expressed a view as to whether offers and sales of Ether constituted offers and sales of securities. Clayton used Hinman's speech as an example of how transparent the SEC has been in its treatment of digital assets, but now Hinman is tap dancing in that declaration. See Clayton letter to Rep. Bud. Not that important. What you need to know from this one only is that it's now been proposed and put up that we're not even sure if Ethereum has actually gotten the proper regulatory clarity, right? So at first, once more, Ripple put up William Hinman to just be questioned. The whole schedule got put in place because, again, they have to go over all of this. SEC replied saying, hey, we don't think it's a good idea that you're going to depose him on these couple of reasons. One, he actually held a critical, important position, and so people of that high of a status you cannot depose. 2, Director Hinman has no first-hand knowledge of the facts underlying the action. And since that's the case, you don't have any good reason to depose him, because if he has no firsthand knowledge that is like basically unique, so if he has some knowledge while being a high-ranking official that's firsthand and unique, you can still sometimes depose depending on the entire situation. But here it says the Director Hinman has no personal firsthand knowledge as to defendants offering seals of XRP. Whatever information he has about what defendants did or did not do, he derived from these meetings and submissions and from other conversations with the SEC staff. However, Ripple would like to debate that. Point number 3, the subpoena should be quashed because defendants cannot meet their burden of demonstrating exceptional circumstances justifying it. This again, Ripple did say they don't really need, because it's actually kind of the contrary. The SEC should prove that there are exceptional circumstances that they can deny it. And then that at a couple of sub-points. Director Hinman has served as a high-ranking government official. Defendants cannot demonstrate exceptional circumstances. And then again, defendants cannot properly elicit testimony on the SEC's internal processes and can explore the SEC's assertions of privilege through less intrusive means. This basically goes about the fact that if they want info, Ripple side, they can actually get the majority of all of this. They don't need to depose William Hinman for it, and they don't need to ask him questions about some privileged stuff. Basically, a lot of the stuff that he said while working at the SEC is privileged anyway, and so there's really no need for it because he's also a high-ranking official that, again, has words protected, basically. Then on the same note, again, all the stuff that he has in terms of knowledge, well, none of it is actually unique nor real first-hand knowledge because he hasn't been involved with XRP ever. So asking him about the regulatory status or using Hinman as it all, not going to make that much of a difference. That's what, again, the SEC said. And that's actually the end of it. The other 73 pages is just exhibits and just kind of back knowledge of it all. However, like Fullerene here says, whether or not Hinman will get deposed is a win-win for Ripple. If they depose, win. If not, win. Both scenarios support the fairness defense posed by Ripple. I would like to kind of argue in that same direction as well. Regardless of what's about to happen now, it's still very good that all of this came out for Ripple. First of all, I still am quite certain that Ripple will be able to ask a couple of questions in some way, shape, or form, or at least make it obvious to the judge that some questions are just unanswered that William Hinman needs to address. For example, one question that William Hinman has now put up is Ethereum safe? Yes or no? I would not be able to tell you. Do you guys know? I don't think you do. Nobody right freaking now can tell me whether or not Ethereum is a security or not. Why? Because even the freaking SEC guy here, even he doesn't know, and he's literally explained here that there's no official status on it to his knowledge. It was, I believe, one of those screenshots that we have, like here. So the judge, of course, has to kind of ask about that too. Like, okay, so what's the situation about Ethereum? And then, of course, it furthers on with, but did the SEC give the fair notice? Everything that we get right now, I'm seeing a couple of rude things in the comment section. Let me see. USA SEC low, yeah, just block that guy, Fullerene. Whatever we get out of this, I would say it's all good. Then again, you might also think, oh, this is taking so long. It's taking so long. It depends on how you see it, man. I think it's all good stuff. You are all in hype by XRP. This coin is for test run. Once all banks collide, Ripple will introduce new coin that will be more cheaper and green to support by banks. All right, man. I guess a lot of people don't have the same type of same type of faith in the process. I guess that's the same thing for Bitcoin, Ethereum, for any crypto, right? People will be with it and people will hate on it. People will always say, no, there could be something better. Look at Bitcoin as a good example. I think that's a really fun thing that people put up, saying, oh, no, XRP cannot be used by Ripple because they need a stablecoin. They need something better. There's a couple of arguments to make, again, exactly contradictory. One, things can always be better doesn't mean you actually have to utilize that. And things could always be better relatively to something else. But the most important thing right there, in my opinion, is, well, why would Ripple go for something else? You're saying greener? What do you mean by greener? They literally have a plan to make XRP completely green, so I don't really get that one. Another one is newer, quicker. I mean, that stuff all doesn't really sound that logical to me. So what exactly, why would they change it to something else? Why? I mean, theoretically speaking, Jed McCallum copied the XRP ledger to make Stellar. Don't you think he would have actually made something completely different had he thought it was not juicy? Had he thought it was actually bad? He would have most likely made something else, right? Jed is not an idiot. He might be a money man, he likes his money and he does that properly. And he might be a sellout, that very much so, but he knows money and he knows technology very much too. So from that perspective, I don't know, man. And Bitcoin, you might actually consider a test run. Even Sean says it. Bitcoin was the test run. Yeah, literally, XRP was made because of Bitcoin's flaws. And I would actually see that exactly in the same type of fashion, too. The way that it's going right now is XRP is just in every way, shape, or form better than Bitcoin is. We talked before about scarcity not being a real thing in the crypto space. It's all relative to other coins. But also how almost any point that you would use a crypto for, XRP just has it. So why would Ripple make something new? The only thing you could think of is if they want to have a stable coin that is completely flat. But then it would be, for example, to $1 or an XRP collateralized stablecoin. If it's not an XRP collateralized stablecoin, then what's the purpose of that? Is it a stablecoin purely for some specific transfers? Okay, that might be so. But is that going to take all the utility away from XRP? No, I don't think so. It could always happen. But I mean, that's the same thing as saying, well, let me say it differently. If Ripple were to make a stablecoin, I bet they are going to do that in the specific scenarios where XRP just could not be used. And that basically means they either just say, oh, you know what? For these transfers, another company take it, or they actually provide something like a stablecoin for things which XRP could not work with, which there's most likely quite a couple of examples of that I do not know about, and then basically try to kind of couple it with RippleNet in the end of things anyway. Because that's ultimately a lot of the part that we're here for, man. At least I think. You and others like you are just a hype machine. In the end, I don't care if you buy or sell your coins. Make sure you understand that. I'm not here to tell you to buy XRP. All I'm doing here is talking about exactly what happened and why I'm so excited about it. You might call it hype, you might call it news, you might call it whatever you want. At the end of the day, we all have our own opinions. And in my opinion, this is all going to be quite juicy stuff. You don't think so? It's completely fine. Call it hype or call it realistic future. It all depends on your perspective, I guess. And baby XRP, I saw a lot of people say that in Twitter. Baby XRP. I'm not messing around with that at all. And like John says in the comment section, there's quite a lot of respect that has been lacking for all of these guys, for these big guys, like the big players in the SEC. I've lost the majority of my respect too, not gonna lie to you. Which basically just means I don't like these folk. I don't. I've read all these letters. You guys know about it, right? All of them are not really that long. So at first we read the, like maybe 12, how many was it? 9 pages here. We basically saw why the SEC said that Director Hinman should not be deposed. Why it's such a critical piece to the SEC. Then we saw Ripple come in with their reply saying, well, William Hinman was never really a high-ranking individual, and he specifically is not now. So we can still depose him, and you can actually just answer those things question per question. Moving on a little bit, Mr. Hinman has unique first-hand knowledge relevant to claims and defenses. They're literally saying, if you, as SEC, say that he's such a high-ranking individual, then of course he has some unique first-hand knowledge, right? Because he made a speech that the entire Ethereum/crypto debacle is all based upon. So of course he has some knowledge. At least that's my perspective on the fact. A little bit down below, let's quickly see what else they said. It's been a little while since I read this. The SEC had no valid privilege objection to Mr. Hinman's deposition. They basically just state that he's a high-ranking individual, but since Ripple countered that, there's no real reason why he could not be deposed on privilege. Once more, they could basically just allow every question to be, put up to the court to be answered. Oh no, sorry guys, denied specifically, because it might entail some privileged info, but not, questioning William Hinman as he's just a person. So they can't really say that entire conversation would be privileged. That's what this part is all about. And I believe that is it, as Ripple's reply. It is. And then the SEC came back again to kind of strengthen some of their points, which I still thought was pretty dumb. Director Hinman was clearly a high-ranking SEC official. They basically just doubled down. And again, these replies, they cannot add new arguments. They have to kind of double down anyway. But we covered this entire letter. Director Hinman has no unique first-hand knowledge of any discoverable facts. Once more, this is just the SEC's word against Ripple, and I can really stand by Ripple's side. And that's basically what they were talking about. Okay. And that was it. 2 points. Really stupid in my opinion. Extremely, extremely stupid. I see Fit Trucker coming in with the $5. Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much for that donation. You did not have any message there, but still, thank you very much. So, all right. So I think Dusty is not live. I am live. Fullerene is a mod, indeed. He can delete comments. Otherwise, I would have to stop with everything I'm talking about and then go to the comment section, delete something, and then go back to look. It's very distracting. So we don't have that many mods. It's only people that I know I can trust with not, doing some crazy stuff. And that's not as easy as you might think, because you don't, if I don't stream consistently, you don't know which people come in here, to actually put up good stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty difficult. But Fullerina's been here for a long time, always doing good. So I trust him completely with that. Okay, you wanted a flare update. 2 parts. I have it open somewhere, but I don't think I was ready with it just quite yet. Okay, I have it open somewhere, but I don't know exactly where it is just quite yet. So the flare update we got is that within 1 week from now, the founder is going to give us an update. Ledger has apologized for giving us a update that was kind of too soon, basically. And I think that's kind of the update that we have. So within 1 week, we'll get some crucial info. The Flare network should be up before the end of this month because they said June plus minus 2 to 4 weeks. So I'm expecting it not to be after July. But if they do stall it, it's also not the end of the world because most projects have been stalled at one point or another. Then again, I think it's going to draw a lot of criticism if they do. So yeah, in the end of things, why they're stalling it, it's always for safety purposes. Would it be a good thing though? That's definitely debatable. Any other questions? Put it up in the comment section right now. I'm checking everything out. I have friends who sold in August 2017. SETI G, XRP sucked, and then later they felt very stupid in December. That's one fun thing, man. A lot of people, what they do is they buy high, sell low. And that's the phenomenon of the crypto space. I mean, every space, really. 90% of the traders lose 90% of the money in the first 90 days. And how they do that is just by buying high, selling low, and not being sure with their position. Now, I would always tell you guys to be extremely careful with trading, and even now. However, there's only one exception where I can say, okay, trading might be a smart idea. And that is because there's a freaking Bybit competition. 30,000 XP on the line. So this basically means everybody who used the link and has registered for the competition in total can win 30,000 XRPs, which you guys can win as the pool. I'm still amazed at how much it is. But this is the only time where I'm like, oh, maybe trading is definitely worth it regardless. Because it's about ROI. It's not about how much money you make. It's about the ROI. So theoretically speaking, the minimum requirement is 300 XRP. You don't need to pay this. You just need to have this in money. That's all you need to have in your account. You don't have to pay this to enter. There's nothing to enter. You don't need any single cent to enter. It doesn't cost anything. It's just a bonus. It doesn't cost anything. And specifically, if you're going to trade anyway, you can just win something. There's nothing to lose, right? Because you don't lose anything if you don't win. And that's why it's not a giveaway. It's basically I think how it works is the highest 10 people with the best ROI. So this basically means if they trade something, even if they only trade, for example, with freaking a couple $100, they can win a couple $1,000. And the more people that enter, the bigger the prizes are going to be. So that's why I'm saying make sure you sign up. Because why not? It doesn't cost anything at all. Once more, if you're not a trader, don't go for it. You don't have to. Just saying, if you're already on Bybit, make sure you have the link down below. It's freaking worth it, man. Once more, it took me a lot of effort to get 30,000. I didn't even expect it to be 30,000. This is official stuff. 30,000 XP given away by this exchange for us. The first XP competition ever. Whew. I'm still excited about it. Still hyped. Okay. What do you think economy crash in autumn? So, if we're talking economy crash, this is going to be a really long day. It's a really long day because we don't know exactly what would cause the crash, why, and for how long. Also, we know that economy crashes, they're to a certain degree priced into Bitcoin because every time that the economy crashes just a little bit or heavily, Bitcoin will react to it, nearly instantaneous. So you might also say that if there was a very much speculated crash in the stock market about to happen in a couple of weeks or months, that the price of Bitcoin most likely have already reacted to it, or at least is reacting to it now. This might actually be something to say that within fall here, autumn, things are actually going downhill. Might be that Bitcoin price has gone down in anticipation of that stock's going to fall. Then again, I do believe that Bitcoin actually does not really anticipate such things. I think Bitcoin mostly reacts to it rather quickly. By the way, on the minute chart, XP has actually been doing quite good. Because I think we started the stream like around this area. And we've actually gone up about 1% or so since we started. And now a little bit back down again. But yeah, so I don't know if there's a crash going to be coming. But I do know that Bitcoin would change exactly in the same way. Will we be live streaming? Yes, we will be live streaming the hearing in 2 days. That's why I said make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed, no worries on my end, but you might miss it out. And I'm going to do my best effort to make sure that you can get all the info from that freaking call so you know as soon as possible. That's what I'm saying. It's almost always worth it to subscribe to the channel in those specific cases. Let's see. If I were Ripple right now, I would make a bacon and egg sandwich. That is pretty interesting. Dusty, can you explain why C Rapid and X Current don't use XRP? Okay, I'm not sure exactly what you mean with C Rapid. I think you mean X Rapid. So back in the day, there was this thing called X Rapid. It was launched 1st of October 2018. And I remember that day really clearly because I was really hyped about it. That was the first time that Ripple was actually launching its official XRP solution. And a little bit later, because they had X Current, X Rapid, and a couple of other X solutions at the time, they basically pulled everything together, calling it RippleNet. RippleNet basically entailed all these different things, and they decided to switch over. And instead of using X Rapid, they changed the name to On Demand Liquidity, or also known as ODL. And so right now, X Rapid is really not functioning anymore, or basically just changed its name and is still functioning under a different name. Everything, however, falls in RippleNet, and the new part, which is used to be X Rapid, is now called ODL. And then also, why is X Current back then and right now just the messaging part of RippleNet not called or not using XRP? Is because again, it's a different function. If you are a software company and you sell software to banks, well, you might have different sorts of software. One part, for example, could be the messaging. So basically how, let's just call it messaging for right now. That's a really broad subject as to what messaging can really do and how exactly those are changing right now and what Ripple's changing about those. But one part is messaging, and one part, for example, could be the cross-border settlement itself, right? Those could be two different types of software. And that's also what Ripple does. One part does use XRP, one part doesn't, and they sell both. Now, kind of inclusive because you have one package of RippleNet. You can kind of think on or like check mark which parts of it you want. However, right now they kind of sell you the one-stop solution instead of having these different packages all together with different names. It's just so more, I think, so more people actually get the XRP stuff, from the get-go. Gino says, Dusty, I will use my XRP to buy my friend's wife for a night. Okay. Not sure what to say about that one. Redword says, hey, Dusty, thanks for your shows, man. I appreciate you doing them. I appreciate you for coming by, man. Thank you so much for just stopping by saying hi. Let's see what else. Fullerine says, get asses off of exchanges and onto hard wallets ASAP. Once more, it depends. If you're a trader, make sure you have the coins which you're not trading off of exchanges. What I do, I have quite a lot of money on Binance. I have quite a lot of money on a couple of other exchanges. Why? Because I sometimes trade them, sometimes trade those coins, or I might have just bought those coins. The majority of my Bitcoin, the majority of my XRP, the majority of my Ethereum is, however, locked up in ledgers. This is so that if something happens to those exchanges, I haven't lost all my money. Is it worth it to keep some money on exchanges for ease? Yes. You might at one point or another want to quickly transfer some money around or, change some money for fiat. And you might be, too late if you don't have any money on there. So I would always say keep some on there for safety purposes, but make sure you have the majority of your money locked away. It's the same thing as keeping cash or keeping some money in a bank account. It's like, you don't want to keep everything cash because it's not safe. You don't want to keep everything in the bank either because it might not be safe. If you really need some money right now, cash might be better. However, if you need to send all your money across the world, the bank account might really be better. In terms of safety, everything has its own safety, good parts. For example, keeping your money on Coinbase has the benefit of it being the most properly regulated crypto exchange out there. And so losing your money is a really small chance because I think, as it currently stands, they're quite safe with that due to their IPO recently and the status that they have. So they're quite safe. From a different perspective, a ledger is safer because it's your keys, but with a ledger, you can actually lose it yourself. And with Coinbase, the biggest problem is either them running away, which very small probability, or your account being hacked. But the thing again, maybe your computer gets hacked, they can still hack your ledger if it's plugged in and you do some stupid stuff. Maybe, right? Just hypothetically speaking. If you do some dumb stuff, you can still get hacked. And that's the problem with your keys, your money. If you're your own bank, you're also the own responsible guy, right? Berserker says, hey Dusty, what do you think will happen to XRP after the 28th? Your honest opinion? I don't think really that much. I don't actually think Gary Gensler is going to reply, but we shall see, I guess. Nothing is really pointing towards that he's going to reply, though, so I'm not sure about that. I don't think nothing's going to happen. Can't do Bybit in the US? Yeah, a lot of my people use VPNs in the US, so, it's possible to use. They don't ban accounts, they just blacklist your IP. Use Google Authenticator, then you'll be fine. 50-50. Google Authenticator is not everything. Hey, Dust, do we get a heads up when Flare comes live, or would it just be announced the day of? I have no clue, to be honest with you, Brian. That's a good question. Because Ah, I that's a good question. You're just gonna get it sent to your Ethereum address. So from that perspective, I'm not completely sure. I guess it doesn't matter though, right? I mean, if you get it or they announce it, there's no real difference there. We will talk about it in the live stream most likely pretty quickly. So unless I'm sleeping. Dusty, how low can XP get, you think? If I knew, I would tell you, but I wouldn't be here. I'd be, counting my money the whole day. If I knew that type of stuff, all we can do is speculate and think. But if you're asking me how low it can go, I literally have no clue. I'm just buying my way down. So I don't know how low, but we'll see, and I'll just buy my way. And about the Google Authenticator, once more, why it's not everything is because if you mess up in some way, shape, or form with the Google Authenticator, that might be another whole problem on its own. Again, if you lose your phone, okay, you might have a backup, but it's another risk you have. Can't sign up for Bybit from the UK. Man, once more, if you can't do it, there's always an option of using the VPN. If you don't want to do that, don't. And there's no real thing I can tell you, right? If it's not allowed in your country, it's not allowed in your country. That's all I can say. The good side is because using a VPN is just simple. The other side is if you want to do your taxes properly, or you want to, attribute where you won $7,000 all of a sudden, if you do win the competition. I'm not sure exactly that's going to work. Not going to lie to you. I have no idea. Because I'm not sure if you just get it sent to your account just like that. Usually they're pretty simple with all this type of stuff. But if you're in a different country, I have no clue. They don't have KYC. They don't have anything. So I'm not sure. Roth Boss coming up with the $5. XP gang. I haven't seen you in a little while, Roth. I know I see you still commenting every here and there, but not as often. Maybe it's because I'm not streaming as often anymore. And by the way, my freaking tooth holes where the wisdom teeth used to be, that is crazy, man. It's so difficult to talk. Because again, it was yesterday, huh? So it's just, they pulled my teeth out yesterday. It doesn't hurt, and I'm not that way, but it's just like, you can't properly drink stuff just quite yet, or what is it called? You can't. I'm not sure. Like you put water in your mouth, you do like, you know what I mean? I'm not sure what the word for it is in English. You can't do that yet, so that's very freaking annoying. What do you think will become of the Hima deposition? Well, right now we can only speculate. Personally, I would think, as I would have thought, that the deposition would pull through, and that the judge would have to rule on some specific questions. However, Jeremy Hogan, which often is my source for a lot of these really intricate lawyer stuff, he says that it might be a bad thing for Ripple. Then again, this shows you once more that even lawyers don't know at the end of things, because Jeremy said that he was almost certain that Jeremy Hogan was going to be deposed. Right now, however, he says that this is looking bad for Ripple, and that shows you, even though he's my go-to guy, right? Because I believe what he says. He sounds like a really legit guy in that sense. Even he can't predict that type of stuff. And please don't think that people can I'll just predict all this stuff or know for a fact. All we can do is go by the highest probability, and that is about it. Jeremy is also going with the highest probability because things look good. And even things right now are looking good because in the end of things, if he doesn't get deposed, the things that Ripple can ask the judge and propose to the judge might actually be more important than the deposition itself. Because Ripple putting up here the argument that, for example, like right here, this one, like Ethereum hasn't ever been declared. If Ripple puts it up to the judge saying, what the actual F is going on with Ethereum, is it clear? Is it not clear? We are uncertain. Only Hinman could know that, and they're not, SEC is not giving us all the proper documents. How can we get this info? The judge might be like, okay, yeah, that's a fair point, and so forth and so on. It's really hard to say. And yes, I meant gurgle. That's the word I was looking for. Matthew says, Dusty, I've been hearing that if you stake your XRP with Flare, you don't have the keys and could lose your XRP because of the possibility it being made whole with Flare instead. Any insights? I have no idea what you just told me. You meant if you actually participate in the Flare networks, or are you talking about staking on a different exchange, my man? Roth, you're chilling in Miami? Crazy, man. That actually this year I wanted to go to Miami, but I'm gonna skip it because of the whole you guys know what, the whole freaking quarantine stuff. Kate Soren says, what do you think about the rumor of Coinbase will be relisting XP on July 28th? Anything related to court important dates? We have Senator Elizabeth Warren putting up a request for Gary Gensler to reply to a couple of things, and we might get some clarification on the status of cryptos versus securities and crypto exchanges versus security exchanges. Yet, no, Coinbase will not release XRP on that specific date. That's all rumor. That's all based upon nothing. And once more, guys, new hearing in 2 days. If you are not subscribed to the channel, might want to do that. Oh, you live there? That's nice, man. Where do you guys all? Where are the majority of you guys at right now? Right now, we are recording this from Amsterdam, as you guys most likely know. But still, at the start, I saw a couple of people put it up in the chat box. But still, I guess Roth Boss is getting this done from Miami right now. Where are you guys all chilling? Okay, we have Germany, Belfast, Canada, USA, Virginia. If Hinman's speech wasn't an official statement from the SEC, what was then? What official information did the SEC provide in the last decade? Well, Jens, of course, they provided a lot of information that's not related to crypto. But if you meant about crypto, well, almost nothing, except for ICO, because ICOs are quite clear in the US. It's about every other thing next to it that is unclear. I'm not so sure about that, though, how that works, because the SEC literally seems useless. But then again, it's also a question of whether or not the SEC actually has power over cryptos. If they're currencies, then of course a Securities and Exchange Commission doesn't have any power over it. Oh, look at that, guys. Look at that. Look at the chat box, man. This always, literally when I go to bed later on, I sometimes scroll back to the chat box just for fun. Because it's freaking crazy to me how we are so diversified all over the world. Right now, it's majority USA, though. Look at that. Oklahoma, Southern California, Maryland, Illinois. Yeah, a lot of USA today. Maybe it's because it's quite late at night for Europe and Australia. Oh, I actually see somebody from New Zealand. What's the time for you, my bro? You're crazy. You got the notification? East Texas? Welcome, man. Welcome. In what capacity was Hinman engaged when he gave Ethereum speech? He was the financial director. I'm not sure exactly what his position was anymore. It's within these letters, but I'm not sure what exactly his word for it is specifically. Oh, here we go. The former director of the SEC's Division of Corporation Finance. That was his stance back then. You might call that high. You might not call that high. But yeah, that's kind of the situation right now, guys. I can't really make more of it. So will this be good? Will this be bad? It is yet to be determined. We cannot say. What I can say, however, is that you should press that like button if you haven't done it just quite yet. Why? Well, to support the channel a little bit. Doesn't give me any money. Doesn't give me anything. It just might help out with the live stream perform a little bit better, or the video perform a little bit better afterwards. Nee, ik kan ook Nederlands. Ik spreek ook Nederlands, yes. I can speak Dutch. Should I talk with this accent from now on? Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. We can actually do that if you really want. It's a lot easier, maybe. I don't know exactly if there's going to be a big difference, but... Why do people... I have to keep the voice then. Why do people think that the banks would risk XRP running out early if when they actually put it into use? What do you mean? Why do people think the banks would risk? How can XRP run out though, my man? Dusty, let's hear some Spanish. I mean, my Spanish is pretty good. Not gonna lie to you. I think it's pretty solid. But what would I have to say though? I heard the escrow will be used as reward scheme in the future instead of burning. Rewarding, a reward scheme. I don't think so. One of the guys who made the XP ledger, David Swartz, he literally said that the best incentive is no incentive. So I'm not exactly sure what type of reward scheme would be put in place then. Theoretically speaking, it's possible, but I wouldn't know exactly to what degree or where. Okay, somebody says, buenas noches, nos vemos el jueves. Somebody asked me where you can park for free in the Netherlands or in Amsterdam. That's pretty funny. That's a good question. Okay. The worst thing about going to the dentist, and by far the most painful, is having your wallet extracted. Of, I mean, luckily we live in a good country, man. Europe is pretty nice with that. Costs, I guess, only your own risk, if that's a nice way to say it. Not the official bill. I guess if you go to the dentist, it is your own bill. But if you go to the freaking hospital, which I did, there's not that big a bill, luckily. If they introduced him as Director Hinman of the SEC, then regardless of any disclaimer he may have given at the beginning of the speech, he was speaking as the SEC Director. Pretty simple. No, it doesn't work that way, unfortunately, Eric. And that's a pretty long debate. It's basically like him saying anything has absolutely no relevance to what position he's in. He's saying something out of the word of the SEC as an individual, and it basically means nothing. So his speech, it literally did nothing because it should not have given us an indication of what to do. It should not have used or been used as an example of other. It literally served no purpose in this world because we shouldn't have used what. It didn't give us any news because we cannot use it as news. We cannot do anything with that type of stuff. It's just ridiculously dumb. And his own words are contradictory because why would you give a speech if we shouldn't take the info from it? We're getting his opinion, but his opinion does not matter, and everything he says is not official. So what is the purpose? You might call news that we talk about on the crypto channel here useless too, but I'm thinking what we cover is the majority of news that's coming out in the crypto space that you could find yourself, but I mean, we're just kind of composing it and making it an entertaining video. What he's doing is basically taking what his own company basically has put up and telling you that whatever they put up, yeah, I mean, they put something up, but you can't use that, yet they did work on it the entire years. But, I mean, they did not, it's so strange to me how that works. Where do you stake your XRP? The majority of I'm going to say the majority of my XRP is not staked. It's just in my ledger. But a part of it is actually in bitrue, which the link is down below for too. And then Mugamat says, just more delays. A conference concerning the deposition, then another month to wait for judgment on deposition, which will be denied. Sounds rigged to me. Could be. I'm not going to lie to you. Could be. Usually these things go quite fast, but I'm not going to tell you that it's necessarily going to go fast. You don't really know. Yeah, good question. I do wonder, because if this thing pulls in quite quickly, the conference itself, it's in 2 days, or actually it's tomorrow, almost, for Dutch people. If it pulls in 2 days, then and she still has 4 days to give her reply. I mean, she's quite busy. We know that. She has so many different cases under her belt, 700 cases pending, for example. But, I mean, even previous times, she has given an answer pretty quick. It could even be, by the way, one thing to say about that, Mugamat, is she might actually give her judgment within the call itself. I believe the first call, and maybe even the second one, she actually did that, where she gave her judgment within the call itself. So we might be hearing something along those lines too. And by the way, guys, I'm going to say it once more. If you want to see more of this, court hearing, just come back in 2 days. We will cover it on this channel live as we go about it. And Emmy says, Dusty, buy into Bybit for me. There's no buying in. It's just an exchange. You don't have to buy anything. I don't know exactly what you guys mean. I think a lot of people don't get how this works, man. I really do. Because literally, there's only, for example, now I think 8 people who have entered. It's literally completely free. And there's so many people who used my link that have a couple hundred XP there. If you did use my link, all you have to do is press the little sign up button. It doesn't cost you anything at all. So I'm not sure exactly why people aren't doing that. Because the more people, the merrier, right? The more that's going to be given. 30,000 XP is the max. We still have 2 weeks. Let's see. We still have at least 1 more week. But we have at maximum to July 28th, though, to get there. But if you are trading on Bybit, make sure you check this out. If you're not trading on Bybit, you might want to check it out because of the crazy rewards. Link is down below, so you guys know. All right. I think we covered whatever we needed to cover for today, though, guys. Because, it was just talk about the little situation here about, the rescheduling of the hearing, or at least the first scheduling. If you don't trade, don't go about it, as you already know. You need to have 300 XRP. That's all you have. That's the only requirement. You don't need to pay 300 XP. You don't need to pay anything, anybody. All you need is 300 XP in your account. That is it. Then you can actually win thousands of XP with that. It's freaking crazy. If only people understood it properly, huh? But yeah, that was it for today's little update, little live stream. I'll see you guys again. There's 2 other videos coming out today. Don't worry about it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it already. I'll see you guys again in another live stream later today. Oh, no, not a live stream. I think a video. Because I need to kind of rest my mouth a little bit. It sounds kind of strange, but I have to. All right. All right, boys. Peace out.